My name is Michael Foreman and I'm the chairman of the food bank. We had a launch service in November of last year, and the first distribution centre opened in December of last year, the 10th of December. Our aim is to try and provide coverage in the two key towns in the area, Northwich and Winsford, for most of the days of the week, so that there's always a day during the week when people can get food. There's three in Winsford, one is in Christchurch in Wharton, one's at St John's in Over, and one at St Joseph's also in Over. And then we have two in the centre, or close to the centre of Northwich, Methodist Town Church as it's sometimes called, and Bethel Evangelical Church. And then we have a further centre in Barnton, just to the north of Northwich. A number of reasons for using the Trussell Trust model. As a national organisation, they provided a lot of the infrastructure kind of support, training, systems, procedures, all of those kinds of things. And also increasingly they've developed relationships with other national organisations like supermarkets, shelving suppliers and people like that. So there are a whole range of benefits that accrue to being part of a national organisation like the Trussell Trust. It's little over 160 people we now have on our volunteer database. Something like half of those work in the distribution centres. There's then people who work in the warehouse, people who work in the office, and others who help on a more irregular basis when we do supermarket collections and things of that nature.
My name's Maxine Bailey. I'm a volunteer and a manager at two of our distribution centres in Northwich. Since the food bank opened 12 months ago, we've fed about 1,500 people, and the need is rising too. This is encouraging for volunteers that our work is being valued, but makes us sad sometimes to see that people have this need.
My name is Sue Benyon and I help at the various distribution centres when needed, and I also help at the warehouse. They are mainly the CAB, social services, children's centres and benefit agencies, job centres, Job Centre Plus and the Housing Trust. So the job centre would actually allow them a voucher to come along to their local distribution centre, where we would put up their food appropriately and whether they have any allergies or what their needs are and the size of the family. And then we would, while that was being done, we would sit and talk with them to signpost them to anyone else that may be able to help.
Every case is different. Sometimes you hear some very tragic cases, like a young man in his 20s who lost both his parents and they got younger siblings. And the citizens' advice are helping sort out the financial situation of the family, but that takes time. Getting probate takes time. And obviously he needs a lot of other support as well. But in other cases it's a very different sort of reason why they're in that situation. One of our referrers deals with people who are subject to domestic abuse and have to escape very difficult situations. And again, it takes time to get them established elsewhere in a safe place. So it could be any one of a number of things, but it's certainly making a huge difference to people's lives, both through the food that we give, but also through the signposting that we do to try and resolve the underlying problems. I think for a lot of Christians they would quote love your neighbour as a good reason to get involved. That's part of our whole ethos. But equally for somebody who doesn't have a faith, then it's care by the community and for the community, which is a very similar ethos. It's partly managing the logistics of the amount of food coming in and going out and getting it to the right places quickly, and whilst it's within use by date. There is a growing demand because there are so many increasing numbers of people in a situation where they need to go to food banks, and so there's a growth aspect to manage, as well as just the day-to-day simple logistical sort of side of it.